What is up, my kings, my queens, and in-betweens? It's your boy Soap coming at you today with a new toy. This is the BlueTran Lightning by Mini Motors. And of course, we got to unbox it. So let's get to it. I didn't grab a knife, so I'm gonna grab a knife. Actually, you know what? We're gonna get scissors. I thought about skipping. This is the first unboxing I thought about skipping just because I'm so excited for the scooter. Just to give you all a rundown, this thing has dual 200 or 2500 watt motors. I think they peak around 3000 watts each. So you get about 6000 watts of pure performance. We got a 72 volt LG big ass battery, 35 amp hour, and already got new handlebars and stuff for it because it has the folding handlebars, which, as you know, Soap's not the biggest fan of. Anyways, first of all, we got our toolkit, we got our remote for the RGB, and we kind of got a mess here. I'm gonna try to make sure this is least mess as possible. There's our horn. That's a loud ass horn. Trying to move the styrofoam around so we don't get it everywhere, but some of it's busted, so it looks like we're going to. We got our manual for our BlueTran Storm, or not Storm, Lightning. I'm excited. Let's see. We got our charger. How many amps is this charger? Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and guess 3. 2.5 max output. So that means it's going to take a solid, 25 hours to charge this thing. With that being said, let me get this thing out of here. Alright. Let's get some of this plastic off. Come on, work with me. This says, your insurance policies may not provide coverage for accidents involving the use of this scooter. To determine the coverage is provided, contact your insurance company. I didn't even think about that. About insurance covering anything to do with this scooter. And it's got a little tag that tells you like all the things that you need to be doing, like wearing a helmet and such like that. But yeah, guys, this is a 50 mile per hour scooter. There's a huge chance this one could actually hurt you if you get out there and you're stupid with it. There's this folding handlebars I'm not a fan of. You know what? Let me stand on it. See how it feels. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's very nice. The BlueTran Lightning, everybody. Oh yeah. Let me get y'all off here. Check that bad boy out. Shee. But I do got new handlebars I'm gonna swap out on here. But anyways, this was a quick unboxing. Give me just a second and we're gonna come back to a little ride video. What's up, guys? We are out on the BlueTran. I always call it the BlueTran. I know it's the BlueTran. No, this isn't my first ride out on it, and I know the camera angle isn't perfect, and that's just because it has lower handlebars, so it's hard to get those handlebars in the shot and get like a nice straight view unless I'm like bending all the way down. But anyways, we're going to take it up to the park, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Now, of course, like I said, this isn't my first ride on it. I know previously acted as if we were going to take it out and ride it right then, and I was going to give you my first impressions. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do that because it was a rainy day. So I took it out, rode it for just a second, and put it back up. Of course, I didn't ride it in the rain, but before it started raining. I did get to ride it yesterday for quite a bit, And let me tell you, in terms of pulling hills and stuff, this is the best scooter I've ever had. Now, you know, I've had my 52 volt D Nanrobot, well, Roadrunner D4 Plus 2.0, which is just a Nanrobot. I had my Nanrobot 52 volt D6 2.0. It was quick. I rode with the fella who had it the other day, and I'll tell you, in terms of going up a hill, that's where this thing shines. It outran him in a heartbeat. I had my the Hiley 60 volt T10, another quick scooter, but again, it's not as quick as this. Now, I will tell you, they feel very similar in terms of how the power puts on, where Hiley's using basically just rebranded Mini Motors stuff, not Mini Motors controllers or the i3 display, but the motors and stuff are pretty much just rebranded Mini Motors. So the way that the power gets put on feels very similar. But you see we're going uphill right now, and we're almost pulling. Yeah, I mean, we're pulling. We're still going 33, etc., like that. It's not really, this thing has street tires. I wasn't going to go over there and review it, give you an idea on it, but we'd have to go through gravel, and this thing doesn't really like gravel. With that being said, I'm just going to pull over here and give you an idea on it. So, first impressions, this isn't anything crazy. I mean, the scooter's crazy, but this video isn't going to be anything crazy. This is just first impressions. I really need to get to learn the scooter before I give you all my thoughts on it. But so far, fantastic. The one thing I switched out immediately was the folding handlebars for these big wide boys. Different grips and stuff. That's just personal preference. I like the wide stance on all my scooters, and makes me just feel a little bit more comfortable whenever it comes to trying to go faster speeds and just stability and such like that. Now, the lights on this thing are where this guy really shines. Well, I guess not just the lights, honestly. Lights are one thing, but as you can see, it's got the BlueTron lights up on the side, down on the actual deck, and then on the rear we got some really bright flashing lights that you can see going on there. Now, in terms of power, 72 volt, I got the 35 amp hour version. For the price, you can't beat this thing. It's got a horn like a car. You don't have the ability to turn on and off dual motors, which is fine. Anybody who knows scooters, riding with a single motor, all you're doing at that point is hurting your motors anyways. You're putting more stress on them. If it's got dual motors, let it rip. I have it, if I'm not mistaken, fully maxed out in terms of P settings, but of course I could be wrong. It feels very nice on the takeoff. It's really quick. In terms of hills, though, like I said, that's my main thing, because I'm not a speed demon. This thing goes 50. I've seen people go 53 on it, GPS verified, and I'll tell you, I'm never going to go 53 on this thing. But what I like it for is the torque, and we're going to head up this road a bit, and I'm going to show you there's a huge hill, huge at the end, and this thing climbs that hill. I wouldn't say like it's nothing, because the hill ain't nothing. The hill's dramatic. It's a long, long, steep hill, but it climbs it. It climbs it better than any other scooter I've had. Now, all the scooters I've had have made it up that hill. We'll say though the D6 did the worst job at it originally, before I messed with the controllers and put them a little closer to the frame, because it would overheat. And once it would overheat, I'd get to the top and it would slow down or stop entirely, and then I would have to let it recover before it would go again. But this guy, no problem at all. The D4 I had, no problem at all. The Hileys, both of them, the T8 and the T10, no problem at all. Slow, but no problem at all. Now this guy, seriously no problem. So you can see we're coming up on the hill here, and I don't know because the camera never tells you or shows you well, right? But this hill's dramatic. It's very dramatic. I'm getting a run at it. We're at 36. And this is just the bottom. This thing goes on for a minute. 32, 31, 30, 28, 27. We're hanging at 27. Keep in mind, this is probably every bit of 35, 40% incline. We're still at 27. We're actually speeding up now. We got a FedEx truck that's going to make a stop, though. That's okay. We'll see how it takes off. So this is the steepest part. Going into the turn just fine. We're at 22, 23, 24. We're gaining. Hanging at 24. This is extremely steep. Like, I cannot explain how steep this is. Okay, cool. We're going to 24. Let's do something. Let's stop real quick. I want to show you. You can kind of see down there where we came, how steep this thing is, right? Like, I'm not positive that you can tell, but it's very steep. And we're still on a very high gradient. From a stop, can it pull us? It sure can. And it's gaining. It seems like it still wants to get up to that 20-some miles per hour. Yeah, so that's impressive, guys. I will tell you one thing, the Zoom brakes, I know they're fantastic brakes. I need to work on them a little bit. My left ones, I can still squeak them, but they just feel a little more squishy than the right. And, you know, my left one's my rear one, so that's the one I want to be a little bit more stable. One thing, though, I will say, where this thing has the lower handlebars, and me being 5 foot, 5'8", 5'9", somewhere in there, it feels a little sketchier going downhill. You want to lean back a little bit more. So this is another very steep hill. Climbing at 26. Still climbing at 26. Yeah, so hills aren't a problem, guys. And from all that, we weren't all the way fully set up in terms of our battery. I mean, we were pretty much close to it when we started. And now, let's see where we're at. 80.4 volts. Max voltage is 84. So after climbing those two giant-ass mountains, we're still technically at what the screen says is 100%. But honestly, we're more like at a solid 90% or so, which is crazy after climbing two giant ass mountains. Now I will tell you, yesterday when I took it for a ride, or the day before, it wasn't yesterday, I took it all the way up to my buddy Nick's house, which y'all have been there with me before. One of my buddies has a bike, and going all the way up there, normally on my other scooters I would have to sit there and hold the throttle down the whole way going up the mountain, but on this guy I didn't have to do that because it's got the torque. I actually had to let off at some points because there were certain points where the hill's not super steep, but normally, you know, on the D6 or T10 I could only get to like 25 miles per hour or so, and this thing was pushing me at like 35, getting close up to 40, so I had to let off the throttle. going uphill, which is insane. Now see, we just hit 40 just for a second. That's one thing about this scooter, is it's super easy to accidentally go really fast on it, because it's a quick scooter and it's a stable scooter. A lot of people from the last, or the first batch that came out that were having issues with it, they said that it really wasn't stable at any speed and stuff like that. I think you guys are just riding with your feet side by side. You're not really riding a scooter how you're supposed to ride a scooter, planted out with wider grips and stuff like that. Because this thing feels just as sturdy as any other scooter I've had, if not more sturdy. It feels more planted, that's for sure. And the stem, people want to talk about the little wobble in the stem. That can be fixed just by, making sure that both sides are tight. But then, beyond that, once you get them tight the first time, you really shouldn't have to do it again for a while. Unless you're somebody who likes to fold the stem and carry it a lot. But, it's an 80-pound scooter. You're not going to want to be doing that. So... Now, I will say I still have little worries about the suspension, because if anybody knows anything about the BlueTran, the earlier models had an adjustable suspension, and they had problems with it breaking on people. I think that's why the BlueTran is so cheap, right? Because I got this thing for less than $1,500 with the 35 amp hour LG battery. It's just because, it came out, it had a rough start, and after it had a rough start, a bunch of different cool scooters came out, right? The Emotion RS, the Wolf King GT, etc. like that. So this kind of just went to the background after those came out, and it had a few issues when it first came out. But they've all been fixed since then. I'm a heavy rider. I've weighed myself before I left. I weighed 260. 264 and a half with all my stuff on, so I'm pushing the weight limit right at 265. But I feel confident in it. I keep an eye on the bolts. They changed out the old, I think they're called M6 bolts for M8 bolts, so they're a bit thicker and stuff like that. Much better, especially for just being, stronger. And for bigger guys. And even I talked to the fellas at Mini Motors, and I believe it was Corey. Sorry, Corey, if it's not Corey, or if that's not your name entirely. But I believe it was a fellow named Corey, maybe Chris I talked to, who told me, he said, I believe that Mini Motors probably was a little conservative with the weight limit on this thing. And I could totally see that, because it's thick. I thought the suspension was going to be a little too, over-engineered at first, but once I got my hands on it and seen it in person, it looks nice, and it looks fine. The suspension's not real plush like the D6 was. It feels more like the D4 or the T10, where it likes to pick up the bumps and help you out there, but in terms of like a real cushiony feel, it doesn't really have that. It's really planted. Feels more like a Corvette than a Cadillac, I guess I would say there. But with that being said, I'm going to call it quits for today, just here. Of course, we got a whole spring and summer ahead of us. I plan on riding this through quite a bit, all of it, and making a lot more content in the future, of course, with the Hulk as well, and any other toys that I might get. But yeah, guys, this is the Mini Motors BlueTran Lightning. It might still be on sale. They might still have them. They might come back in stock. They might not. But anyways, if you're looking to buy anything from Mini Motors, I have an affiliate link down in the description. Feel free to use that, and it gives me a little kickback to the channel, which always helps me afford new toys. Other than that, guys, I'm Soap. This is Careless Kingdom, and I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
And I know I miss my tonight, I might. But I might tonight, I just might tonight.